of mine sent me a tweet saying, "Why do men start podcasts instead of going to therapy?" It's just like, look,
Yeah, shut up, bitch.
Ooh.
The podcast is gonna actually care about my feelings, okay?
I don't think you're a bitch.
I'm sorry.
I don't think
I'm
you're
joking, by the way. I really am joking, but you can tell, bro. I've been frazzled, McDazzled as of late. Just because, like everybody else, I've been going through a lot, going through a ton mentally. I don't want to undermine what I'm going through just because it may be similar to what a lot of people are going through. But I've had a lot of shit kind of sitting on my mind, pressing me lately in regards to just like the world right now and the pandemic, like typical shit people are going through, but just, just getting it in a low at a time like this. You can call it seasonal, you can call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
I call it a young nigga going through life, but he actually...
Damn bars. Yo, I'm not gonna lie.
Feel me.
Low-key just dropped 16.
Feel me. But I hate looking at the camera after some shit like that. I feel like I look so crusty. But, my dog helped me come to a realization earlier, which, since y'all are our people, this is the pod, and we are not pressed for time today.
No, like we're going to be talking on how we want to talk for the length of it, but...
And so he made me come to a realization today, which is something I realized in like 2016, probably 2017, is I'm somebody that a lot of shit has come to very, very easily in life. So you'll have to excuse me when I say like, I mean, when it comes to just like if I want it, or if I want to do it, I do it, right? And I do it well most of the time. And so whether it comes to sports, whether it comes to academic goals, whether it comes to just like interpersonal relationships, whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know, when like things that I want like deep down inside though, a lot of the times I have the worst imposter syndrome, I guess. Like that was a good way to put it, to where I kind of feel undeserving, or kind of feel like because I look up to people in an arena that I shouldn't be able to be regarded the same, I guess, as them, right?
Even though you like to do those things anyway, and you feel like you're good enough and proficient at them to where you can.
Like, this nigga has been telling me for a long time, and don't get me wrong, like, I'm not saying, like, look down below for my SoundCloud link and shit like that, but it's like, he's been telling me for a long time, like, well, hinting at, and then, like, talked about it today, about the fact that I very, very clearly want to be an artist, maybe, I guess, but to like whatever extent that is, and whichever realm that is, because there's a lot of different ways to be an artist.
Yeah.
Hold on for a second. This is some brotherly love. This nigga, all right, you good. But like, like whether it comes to whatever field, just because like there are people like a Donald Glover that give me lots of hope in the fact that you don't have to leave life to one thing that people tell you you're good at. You can do most of the things you want to do, and you can do them well, as we've seen him succeed in writing, acting, rapping, singing, like all of the stuff he said he's loved, he's gone out and he's done it. And I've been somebody that, like, I'll talk my shit for a second. Like, music is the most important thing in the world to me besides my family. Like, if it's not music or it's not my family, like, genuinely, like, I am not here to be morbid. I'm just being real with y'all. We talked about, like, the mental health shit. Like, I definitely would not have made it to 2020, let alone, like, a knocking on 2021, right? And because of how important I hold these things, like, using a term like artist isn't something I view lightly. Like, that shit holds weight for me. That shit is heavy. And so when I think about artists, I think about all the people that effectively have saved my life, right? And it's weird to, like, in my own way, I guess, because he's not the first person. Like, he's the opinion that most has mattered to me saying that to me so far, but he's not the first person that has looked me in the eyes and said some shit like that, whether it be like ex-girlfriends that have seen like the kindred artist, or like whatever kind of bullshit like caricature that I fit into, or whether it's be friends, whatever. And it's just like, it's never been something I've wanted to like categorize myself as, because of the fact that, oh, you're the math and science guy, you always got good grades in this, like you should always do this in your life, and you need to always do the office, you need to always do this. And so I've always kind of viewed it like that's where life is supposed to take me, and I've kind of changed myself and molded myself in that way when I feel like I'm with lovers or I'm with people that desire to view that chuka. Because in a different world, like, all of the little, and I will one day tell the Chuka life story, which me and my mom like still laugh about, and me and my siblings still laugh about, but it's like all of the people that had like Ivy League dreams for me, or like had fucking like engineering or surgeon, like that kind of stuff. In a different universe, Chuka is the biggest playboy 26-year-old like multi-millionaire Porsche driving like Ivy League graduate doctor somewhere. Truly, like I know that was something that was in my like mental capacity for sure. It's just not what I ever actually desired or wanted, right? And it was hard to like know that's not what I wanted, know that was kind of what's expected of me. And so it's just been damn near 27 because of it's a month to my birthday. Shouts out to Capricorns, way to go. It's no pun intended, but it's like it's been damn near 27 years of running away from that reality, right? And just like the more I keep running, the deeper I get into this mental pit. And this talk today with my brother kind of definitely helped me out. I mean, obviously I'm going to still wane in and out and have my highs and lows, but not to dwell too much on me.
Man, like, I feel like without getting off of what you're talking about, it's important, you know? And it's important that people know these kind of things because other people are going to be feeling them too. And so I'll say something I was even talking to you about that, you know, moment of vulnerability. It's like, I am usually viewed as that happy-go-lucky guy who's usually, if he ever gets sad or ever gets mad or whatever, pops out of that shit instantly. Because I'll just tell myself it's time to be happy. And it's not like me faking it. I'll really just be like,
he's really a happy ass nigga.
I'll be good. Like, I'll just find a way to become good for myself. So, but there were things that even haunted me, right? And I feel like one of my biggest issues, you know, there's a few, but one of my biggest thing was I was just chased by regret and chased by things that you couldn't control because as life goes on, there's things that you could have done or wanted to do that you will never have the opportunity to do again. And that's mostly because, again, you're not that age, you're not in that place, your body's different, whatever. And so for me, I'm somebody who you all can probably tell from the podcast and like us towards the end of it, loves basketball to such a high regard. And I was always playing it as a kid, always. And I loved it so much. However, I never let myself try out for like the best teams or try out for this, try out for that.
Or anything like that.
And I forced myself to get good at other things that I know I still wasn't as good at as basketball, but try and take those to that length because those weren't as scary because my heart wasn't as much there. So disappointment never came as bad, you know? And after a while, realizing I'm not in the age where I could play like AAU anymore. I'm not in the age where I could play high school basketball. I'm not in the age where even college basketball is a thing because my ass is trying to get out of college right now, like this year. So, I mean, realizing that those things aren't possible anymore, I told myself that I refuse to ever live life in a way that I'm going to have that same level of regret that came from me not being able to chase my passions of things I wanted to do at the time that I could do them, knowing how much that weighed on me. And that's just me being real with myself and not wanting to ever feel that pain again, you know? And so that was kind of what I was trying to tell him, knowing that you recognize consciously that you're in that moment. And just talking from somebody who's been there with something else, you don't ever want to feel that pain after that moment's gone. And these are the kind of things that you need to do while you're young, especially. That's just the way, unfortunately, that these are, because you know a certain factor that comes along with being in the realm of the youth relating to you comes from you being a youth. Or I know older people can do it, but it's more prevalent within like the younger community. And so that was important. And I'm hoping that other people out there in the same position don't feel like, you know, can feel like they are able to set aside their anxiety, their fear, and whatever is stopping them from being the best versions of themselves, the most fulfilled, the happiest, and chasing whatever dream that is. Even if you don't succeed, chasing that to whatever extent you can succeed, and chasing that as passionately as you can, because fuck it, like, who knows? I might not have been able to play college basketball, but I might have tried, you know? And that would have been the most important thing for me, because even right now I see it with lame things like TFT or video gaming and streaming. You know, I set out goals for myself, and like on a tip, it's like, you know, I don't want to be at the point where I don't play these games enough to care, but play these games wondering like, hey, could I have been like the top percent? And now I do. And like, I am in the top percent of these things, and I am good at the things I want to do, like even past that with our podcast and this, that, and the third. So taking that, but yeah, man, besides that, like, anything else from your week or like how you been feeling? Or
I mean, to be fair, that's really like a good summation of everything, because like, to be quite honest with you, like, and everybody else, when it comes to like us and this medium, it's like, I don't know, like, I've just going down like what we've spoken about, I guess I've written my whole life. I've written poetry my whole life. I've written songs my whole life, but like writing songs, it's funny. I've always written songs, and it's always been like for somebody else. Like I've gotten into the mind of like niche singers or just like rappers, like whatever that I find interest in or that I'm inspired by, and think that I could make something cute or something cool or something like swag or something like, you know, talking shit, whatever, and like get that shit off in their voice, because it's easier to think about something in somebody else's voice than it is to think about it in your voice, right? Like especially
because your own thoughts be scary as fuck.
Because your thoughts be scary as a motherfucker. But it's funny because like every single time we're like with friends or like we're just chilling, and then you know how dudes get sometimes, they'll get drunk or get high and just like want to freestyle, want to do whatever, and then like, you know, you're shy about the things you care about. So like I never really want to, well, I used to not really want to step up to the plate. And then they'll get me to step up to the plate, and these niggas will think I'm hustling, like I'm trying to like, you know what I'm saying, like win some money on some fucking Dave Chappelle shit with the scene where he was like all of the people being together. They're like, this nigga acting so scared to rap, and then he starts rapping and he's good at rapping. Like it's always the same reaction from everybody, but I don't know, man. We'll have to see where the future goes. I still don't know if I'm about to become like a rapper or anything like that, but just seeing like whatever medium I end up expressing and like letting loose that art, like we'll find that one day, and I'll be happy to dive into it.
And I want to say, as you're getting on that, this is actually almost important for me to point out now, just to show some gratitude. It's everybody who watches this podcast, listens to this podcast, and digests it in any form that supports us and what we're doing, being able to chase whatever dreams that we have for ourselves, making that possible, because a lot of these things aren't possible as you grow older and responsibilities start to take, you know, I guess, kind of charge your life, and you can't dedicate as much yourself and as much your time to things that don't necessarily make you as comfortable and add the most ability. But by so much support pouring in, it's making that kind of a lifestyle possible for your boys here to be able to do what we want to. And so I genuinely appreciate everyone that listens and has continued to show support for the Offspace.
Of course, absolutely. We love y'all always, and happy that y'all are happy to hear us just talk, you know, and just hear the people we bring on just talk.